Can you believe that it's November of 2024 and we have a fix to Social Security? You heard me right. We have a fix. And I'm so excited about it because I didn't think it was going to happen. But we have on the floor of the House that just passed. It's going to the Senate and it's probably going to pass. And it's going to go in front of President Biden. And it's going to be signed, I think, a fix to Social Security. Let me bring in my co-host, Tony Shore. Tony, welcome to the show. Yes, that's right. To the viewers on YouTube and elsewhere, you can see for the first time in a long time, Tony's right next to me.
Can I offer you a Coke?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you already? Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, we're in the same room. We're in the studio. We are in high atop the Gradient Metroplex in beautiful downtown Arden Hills, Minnesota.
Yes, love it.
Minnesota. We're up in Minnesota for this episode.
We were going to go to Tony's mom's basement's house, but
nope.
But there wasn't enough room, and I want to see his record collection. But Tony, can you believe that we have a fix to Social Security?
I can't, and I don't think we do.
Oh, yes, we do. For the listeners, we have what's known as the Social Security Fairness Act of 2023. Here is the link to it.
But we're in 2024.
I know. But it is going to pass at the end of 2024, and it'll be retroactive to the end of 2023.
Okay.
If it passes. I think it will. I think it's going to get through the Senate. And you know what? I'm going to do a little.
You predicted this.
I'm going to do a victory lap
What?
while Tony, you read the bill for everybody.
Okay. The Social Security Fairness Act of 2023. This bill represents provisions that reduce Social Security benefits for individuals who receive other benefits, such as pensions from state and local governments. The bill eliminates the government pension offset, which in various instances reduces Social Security benefits for spouses, widows, and widowers who also receive government pensions of their own. So you're going to get a reduction in Social Security if you have government pensions. It also eliminates the Windfall Elimination Provision, which in some instances reduces Social Security benefits for individuals who also receive a pension or disability benefit from an employer that did not withhold Social Security taxes. These changes are effective for benefits payable after December 2023. So if it passes, it will be retroactive. But it sounds like cuts in benefits for federal employees for the most part, which is why I've got to believe it.
No,
Tony, that's not what I
did.
Just
a show. I'll put it up there for those, and maybe Tony should take the time to watch it again. We did a show on the government pension offset and the windfall. Both of those cases, those that are getting government pensions get a reduction on their benefit that they receive from Social Security.
True.
So this is going to eliminate that, thereby incring the benefits.
It eliminates
It's eliminating those two provisions, the government pension offset.
Oh, I thought it said decrease Social Security benefits.
If your benefit is decreased due to WEP or GPO, you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I think the calculations are about 3 million people are affected by this.
Oh, wow.
2 million on the Windfall Elimination Provision and 1 million on GPO. So this is going to be a tremendous boon to police officers, firefighters.
Sure. Well, that's good.
Teachers
it was worded
that are from states that they put into their pension system and they don't put into Social Security when they're, say, a teacher or a police officer. Then they moonlight or they get a second job and they put into Social Security. Then when they go to collect Social Security, they get reduced because of their work as a government pension.
Sure.
And so they're going to eliminate that. That's a real big benefit to those that are impacted.
The wording was confusing, but I'm glad you clarified that for us. So this is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
But how does it fix Social Security? I mean, it fixes it helps those people.
Yes, it does. It doesn't fix Social Security. I lied. I said, though,
freely admits it.
So here's the deal. I told the viewers in the show who will fix Social Security. We talked about it. I said, is it going to be Trump or is it going to be Harris? And we debated that. And we talked about, which president elect would be, which one, if they were elected, would fix Social Security. And I threw in there, much to the chagrin of some of my listeners, by the way, I think Biden was going to fix it because that would be an a legacy builder for him.
Sure, it would.
Everyone forget everything he's ever done and say he's the guy that fixed Social Security. And I said, why not do it during the lame duck session? Because you got nothing to lose, everything to gain, right? And look what happened. Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
It hasn't happened yet, but he has the opportunity to sign this. And if he does, it's going to fix part of Social Security
for some people.
And actually, it won't fix Social Security. It'll make it worse because it's going to be more benefits and more going out. And we're already running out of money. So it's going to speed up the process of it going and having a benefit shortfall.
So they're kicking the can down the road to fix the benefit shortfall.
Maybe. Now, I think, you see that now. I'll admit that it was a long shot. I always said it was a long shot. I didn't say, that Biden was being able to do it.
Even if he wanted to, it might be hard for him to get it through.
Now it's time. Now they're running out of time, but this is going to be going up against the clock. They got other things that they're trying to pass that they aren't, but it passed the House, and it has 62 senators that have co-sponsored it. So you only need 60. So if all things equal, you might actually see this thing pass.
But what about shoring up Social Security so it lasts longer? What about raising the full retirement age? And what about increasing the amount of income that they take Social Security tax out of? Right now, it's what, 170,
something like
3,000. If you make over $173,000 a year, for the Jeff Bezos and the Warren Buffetts and the Elon Musks of the world, they're only paying Social Security tax on 173,000 of their earnings. But they earn each year probably way more than that.
Well, maybe it depends if they pay themselves a salary or versus pass-through income, capital, because you don't pay Social Security tax on capital gains.
Yeah.
But you're right. This is not a fix. I mean, it was sensational. But you can give me a little victory. Give me a little victory.
You're right.
If Biden signs it, will you admit that I pulled that rabbit out of the hat? Oh, maybe it was a hamster.
I will admit that you were, and I'm going to go with you were partially right, maybe a half inch.
Yeah.
Not the full, the full Monty. Maybe 1%. Correct.
Hey, I'll take it.
Whatever percentage, 3 million people out of how many Americans are there? 300.
Well, of Social Security type. I don't know how many people are claiming Social Security right now.
Yeah.
I think it's represents 3 or 4%.
Right.
It impacts 3 or 4%.
So you were 3 or 4% correct. I didn't think Biden. I don't think people thought Biden would get anything done.
Right. And I want to be clear to the listeners, because some of the comments were like, well, if you think Biden's going to do anything, then you don't know what you talk about. And I don't trust anything you say. Fine. I wasn't saying
that. Did people really say that?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It doesn't bother me. It's just
you were just throwing out an idea. You think it would be a good thing for him to do, and you thought, watch, he might do this.
Right.
And it's true. He might try to do something like that. He should try to fix something before he leaves.
Do we have faith that Trump is going to try and fix Social Security? I don't know if he's going to do it either.
They might. The one thing that the Republicans have the advantage, they have all three branches now. It's official.
So they could pull it off.
They could pull it off. Stop kicking the can down the road on the federal debt or the U.S. debt and Social Security. They could put in fixes for those because they don't have to worry about partisan politics getting in the way.
Well, they do, because this is an act. Because this is a change. This is a big change.
You would have to have all Republicans vote
and some Democrats
and a few. You won't need many.
You won't need as many as they would.
No.
And so, but they got this passed in the House, bipartisan.
Yeah.
Right. The outgoing senator from Ohio, Sherrod Brown. Is that what it is? Sherrod Brown? I think he was a sponsor on this, so he might be like, let's get this done because I'm out, right?
Yeah, true.
People like to have their names on things.
Right.
So I think, though, Tony, the lesson here is that you can make stuff happen. And I threw out there the lame duck president being able to do it, and he could. I don't think he's going to fix it now. It's too late. But to see this happen, I got to take the small victory. But I think the big problem I have with it is that it's not solving the problem, it's making it worse. It's solving the problem for certain people that
I mean, if it's giving more benefits to anyone, then it's taking more money out of Social
It's
Security
true.
instead of shoring up Social Security, no pun intended.
and it's for the people that kind of were doing two jobs that were public sector. And so we're
Yeah.
not talking millionaires doing it. A lot of people say, wow, you're rewarding the stay-at-home mom that had the high paying executive that maxed out Social Security and she never put into it. Now she's going to get,
Right.
money.
Sure.
And because even the government job paid them well, never put into it. So
Yeah.
like, what's wrong with that?
It's a safety net, and
it's a safety net.
I don't have a problem with that. I think I get a kick out of people who they think you're somehow pro Biden because you thought he might do this before the end of his,
right.
and that doesn't mean you're pro Biden. You're just saying he's in a position where he could try to do something with this.
Right.
And you thought, hey, one big way to leave a legacy would be to
fix the big problem that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping what happens as a result of this is that the GPO and the WEP people that were getting hit are like, yay, good for me. And then they'll be like, oh man, I want to make sure this whole thing gets fixed, because they're going to lose 20% of their benefits if this thing collapses in 2033. I think the stat that I read on this bill is it's going to speed up the demise of Social Security, or the decrease in Social Security benefits by like 6 or 7 months. So it's not like, but that's still 6 or 7 months. You know how long it takes Congress to do anything. So I'm hoping that this primes the pump and people say, because a lot of the people that complain are going to be like, well, this doesn't go far enough. We got to fix it. This is only, and so it might put it in the limelight and say, yeah, we're able to do something. So let's keep the momentum going.
Yeah. I don't understand why. I guess, the perfect person, you're right though. And you made a great point on the last few shows. You've been saying this over the last, 3-4 months, is Biden's in a perfect position to do it, because if he makes changes to Social Security that decreases benefits for people, no politician wants to do that because they want to get reelected.
Right.
Well, Biden isn't going to get reelected to anything. He couldn't win a school board election right now just because of his age and obviously his health, and he's done. So knowing he's done.
No offense to school boards. Hey, the school board's important.
No, I think school boards are very important. I just don't think Joe Biden could get elected to one.
Think so.
I think they're too important to elect Joe Biden because there's obvious,
I don't think he could find a dartboard.
Capacity issues there, and I think
so he doesn't have much to lose, though. Is what
he doesn't have anything to lose, in my opinion.
The analogy of a World War II analogy or a war analogy. There's a grenade thrown in the bunker. He could be the guy that jumps on the grenade to, ruin his career, blow himself up, but he saves everyone around him.
Yeah.
And he could do that. This Social Security Fairness Act does not do that. I hate when they use the word fairness in it, because
the titles they make up for these bills are usually it's the opposite. I love that.
A lot of people say it's not fair that these people are getting. That's why it was put in the beginning in the 80s. The GPO and WP was put in, and so there'll people that say it's truly unfair, but I think it is fair, because
I think it is.
Now everyone's getting the same. Now everyone's on the same playing field. If you put into Social Security so much, you get out, the same percentage.
Right.
They were getting a haircut for just because they were a public sector employee.
Yeah.
That said, though, Tony, I'm not confident that it's going to go beyond that, especially not during Biden's term. And hopefully it doesn't get lost in the shuffle next January when Trump takes over and he's got all his new agendas and new people coming in. Hopefully this doesn't get put on the waste. He's
promised a lot. He should pick 2 or 3 things.
He promised to eliminate taxes on Social Security, which I love. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But that'll destroy it even faster.
Yeah.
Because the tax revenue is not going to be there to actually pay for itself.
Yeah.
Part of the tax revenue on Social Security goes right back in to pay the other Social Security recipients.
I'm telling you, if they took off the limits on Social Security taxes that you pay, payroll taxes,
take off the cap. Yeah.
If you take off the cap, because if your salary is over 170,000 or whatever the number is now, it's somewhere around there. Any money you make above that, and I know people who, they're CEOs of a lot of companies here. I mean, I personally know people who make lots more a year,
Yeah.
500, 600,000 a
Right,
year.
yeah.
And if they were all paying in Social Security tax on all that money, they've done the math, and they say that it would come close to fixing Social Security, but they'd also have to if they raise the full retirement age from 67 to 70,
Mm-hmm.
and they lifted the cap, it would be fixed.
I don't know if it'd be fixed. You'd have to also add some more bend points because when you put money into Social Security, you want to get something back. I mean, you don't
Right.
So the more you put in, the more you'll get back. So you almost have to do another bend point, meaning the way the Social Security system pays out now, the less you put in, the more of a percentage you get back. So the lower earners put in Social Security,
right.
but they get more of that back.
Right.
And as you make more, you get less of a percentage back.
Right.
So if you're going to put no cap, you have to have more bend points because it's really unfair to those people. You know what I mean? You have to give them a little bit less. You have to move that progressive table.
So you're saying we need to give, if Elon Musk has to pay.
The higher you go up, the less you get. So you keep doing that.
Right.
But you put in some more points along the line. So it's not like if you make above 170, because that's not a lot anymore. Like compared to when
they would have to lift that a little.
You have, and then I would say you have to change the taxation of Social Security, either eliminate it or upgrade those tax tables from 1980s. $32,000 for a married couple.
Yeah,
that was a lot
crazy.
in 82.
Yeah,
that's nothing now.
Yeah, true.
Right. So
that's a really good point.
I think there's a lot
with that.
So a lot of the criticism of the bill is from people that say, "Oh, it doesn't go far enough, or it causes more trouble." But they just want to do their version, so their name goes on it.
Right.
Not that anyone cares who
right.
who sponsors the bill. No one looks at that stuff. They look at the name and they look at their paycheck. So I'm hoping
politicians take credit for bills that they had nothing to do with. In fact,
I'm going to take credit for this one because I said it. The Biden.
But what I get a kick out of, if a bill passes that helps people and the country loves it, and you see people who voted, senators and congressmen who voted against it, go back and to their state and say, we passed this bill that helped
bipartisan,
bipartisan support.
Not me, but they don't say not me.
I love that. And Democrats and Republicans are equally guilty on that one. I get a big kick out of that. And I'm like, and then they cut back and they say, well, that senator voted against. I love watching those clips.
Well, I'm going to conclude by saying that the elimination of the government pension offset and the Windfall Elimination Provision is really helpful for those that are actually impacted, which is not a lot of people, but to them, it could be the world of difference. So I'm happy for them if it gets passed. It has not passed yet. It's got to go through the Senate, and it's got to be signed by the president. Wouldn't that be a kicker? Wouldn't that be a kicker if it passes the Senate and then Biden just doesn't sign it? It just is like, no.
He could also do that. A lame duck president is only lame in a certain way. He can really throw wrenches in things if he wants. And and you wonder who's calling the shots, right?
And he could step down and then Harris could sign it, right?
I wonder who's whispering in his ear, like his chief of staff or Kamala Harris. Are they going to help with these decisions, or are they going to let him just go in and?
Yeah, I think he should sign it if it gets in front of him. I would.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
The problem is it's going to speed up the demise of Social Security as we know.
Yeah, they'll bump it up. It's no longer going to be 2034 or 5. It's going to be
2032 in 6 months. So I'm feeling positive. I'm also gonna throw out my new. And I'll wait until he signs it before I take another victory lap. And once he does, then I'll make my next prediction, which will be.
I think a victory lap was a little premature, Dan.
It was not even a lap. It was a stand up and stretch. I couldn't even walk around the table. Well, Tony, it's so great that you're in here with me. I'm so happy.
It's fun to be together.
We don't get to do that much.
No,
I appreciate it. I had a good time today, and thanks again for being a good co-host. I really, I'm feeling really good right now. I'm giving Tony some props.
Yeah, no problem, Dan. Great show today. And Dan, before we leave, let's let our listeners know if they want to get a hold of you. How do they do that?
Easiest way is go to dolphinfinancialgroup.com, or you can call us. I'll put the number up next. But if you want to get a Social Security maximization report, that's going to be the way to do it. You go online or you call and you just say, hey, I want the Social Security maximization report, because I know people look at this and they say, oh, I'm going to wait, or I'm going to take it early. Everyone's situation is different. And now they're always asking, well, is it going to run out? And does that change my opinion? Well, now, if this government pension offset is gone, it's not going to, right now it's in the system. So when it affects people, we might have to redo a bunch of these reports for people that had government pension offset, because now it might change the calculus.
True. Yeah, because there's like 20,000 calculations, and some of them have to do with
some are going to be
the
going
personal
away.
information. Yeah,
right. They're going to be gone. Hopefully, let's finger cross, and hopefully by the next time we record, hopefully by early 2025, this will be signed by Biden. That's my hope.
All right.
I'll see everyone next week.
Dan Mundo or Dolphin Financial Group are not affiliated or endorsed by Social Security or any government agency. Everything discussed on today's show was for informational purpose only. Since everyone's situation is different, some things may not apply to you. The materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources. We cannot be 100% certain that they are accurate. You should really talk to my dad or someone from Dolphin Financial Group before trying to implement these ideas or strategies.